Hey there guys, today we're taking a look at Far Cry 6 running on the AMD Ryzen 9 6900HS with the Radeon 680M. Now what you're looking at running here is the in-game benchmark currently running at 1080p with the lowest graphics preset and FSR set to the performance mode, and we are getting a consistently above 60 FPS experience with 1% lows just being 1 FPS shy of that 60 FPS. So what this is telling us is that we can have a very consistent experience if we play with FSR set to the most aggressive setting, but it does hurt the visual quality of the game in a very noticeable way. Things start to just look very blurry, you lose a lot of the detail in a lot of surfaces. Really, FSR at this setting is kind of very aggressive, and you're really only going to go for a setting like this if you really want to maximize the FPS at 1080p with the lowest graphical settings. So for comparison's sake, here is the in-game benchmark actually running with FSR set to the ultra quality mode. So pretty much this is lowering the resolution a very small amount just to give you a nice little boost in FPS, and we are at least getting a pretty much 60 FPS, but there are introductions of some stutters here and there. So you'll see the 1% lows kind of just dropped there dramatically. That was really just kind of an outlier moment. For the most part, things start to level off pretty quickly, but you can tell that we are getting to the territory where this will start to affect performance. So I think ultra quality is kind of pushing it a bit. I really wouldn't recommend playing it like this, but it does show that you can at least get a playable experience, you know, because a 1% low in the 40 range is not bad. We did see that major stutter that happened, but again, that was such an outlier that it really didn't affect much of anything, and it's not a very consistent experience in terms of getting stutters like that. And while actually playing the game, I actually found that the quality preset for FSR was what gave the most consistent gaming experience in terms of having very good 1% lows and the averages being in that 60 FPS range. So that is what I would recommend that you play the game at. With that said, once you're actually playing the game with these settings, the performance that you're going to get is going to be very nice, and you're going to have a very consistent gaming experience. This really is very impressive performance for a category of chips that has historically had very big issues with the Far Cry franchise. As we've seen, the Far Cry series really struggles to be playable on both the Iris Xe graphics and on the Vega iGPUs. It's really just such a demanding engine, and FSR at least being present in this game is definitely helping out, but overall we can tell that the performance difference here is just leagues better, and it really just gives RDNA 2 a awesome opportunity to just flex its capabilities. And it really has me very curious what a desktop version of this GPU would actually be like, especially years down the line where DDR5 RAM prices will just drop dramatically to the point where they're actually at a reasonable level instead of where they are now, where you're paying ridiculous sums of money for what in terms of latency speeds is actually worse than good quality DDR4. Of course, for GPUs, bandwidth is very important, and that is one of the big benefits of DDR5 here, but we're still not at the latency benefits that we would get like in Vega, where if you would tighten your timings, you can actually get a noticeable performance increase. I'm curious to see if that's going to be present in RDNA 2, because I think that they've reworked the architecture to the point where it's not as bandwidth limited as it was before. But overall, this game is very playable on here. I'm very happy to see how it performs on here. I would definitely recommend playing this game if you actually have this chip. I know more systems are going to become available with it. I've seen some roadmaps that show that some manufacturers are actually going to be putting these types of chips into standalone systems, and that's going to be very interesting to see. But anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.